If you have a music coaching business or really any coaching business online, I'm going to show you how you can structure your business so that you can disconnect your time from your earning potential, meaning that you're not trading time for money anymore, and you can give your clients the best support so that you make sure they get the results that they came to you for. That way they're a happy client, they can't shut up about your business, and it brings you tons and tons more business. This is a very simple way to simplify your entire business model. There's going to be 5 levels to this. There's a course, there's the group, there's one-on-one, there's community, and there's DM messenger support. I first want to talk about why each one of these are not powerful by themselves. So for most coaches, they do one or a couple of these, and I want to talk about the reasons why they're not powerful by themselves. If you look at a course, most of the courses on the internet are sold for $100, $200, $500, maybe $1,000 at the most. And the thing is, with a course, it's good because it's fully automated, but you're not giving them enough support or answering questions that they may have. So they may end up feeling like it's just not enough, and then they say, oh, the course doesn't work. And so this is good because it's automated, but the thing is, you can only charge so much for it because you don't speak to anybody and it's completely automated. Meaning if you charge, let's say $500, you'd have to get a lot of people to be able to hit your income goal. If your income goal is like $10,000 per month, $500, you'd have to sell, 20 of them? And that's not to mention that you haven't spent a bunch of money on ads already. Ads are getting more and more expensive because people are getting more into internet marketing, and to be seen, it costs more money because it's basically a bidding war. You auction for people's attention, and so it's getting more and more expensive. So let's say you hit that 10K goal, but you ended up spending $6,000 on ad spend. Well, you didn't profit 10K, you profited 4K. And so you have to sell more volume in order to hit this goal, and you end up spending more on ads, which is one way to do it. Another way to do things is group coaching. So instead of doing one-on-ones, we'll throw everybody into one group. And this by itself is also not as effective because people feel like they just don't get enough attention to be able to, get their results because they're in a classroom with a whole bunch of other people and they feel like they're not getting enough attention. And the main thing most coaches are doing is the one-on-one model. This is the easiest model to get into because you can get paid immediately and you don't have to have any product up front. You just have to trade your time. But that is the entire problem, is you're trading your time for money. And no matter how you look at it or how much you charge, you end up hitting some sort of ceiling because you're tying your earning potential to a limited resource, and that is your time. You only have 24 hours, I only have 24 hours, the richest person in the world only has 24 hours. We all just decide to use it a little bit differently. And as long as you tie your earning potential to your time, you're gonna hit a cap of some sort. It doesn't matter if you're charging $500 an hour or $1 million an hour, you cannot get paid without showing up and trading your time, and you only have so much time to do that. Even if you get more clients, like you get a ton of clients, you're gonna end up wishing that you didn't have as many clients because you have no time left in your day. So that's the problem with one-on-one as well, and this is the problem most people end up hitting. They start a business, they start getting clients, they're happy, they bring on too many clients, they have to stop bringing on clients, they leave money on the table, and then they're exhausted because they've spent all their energy teaching the same thing over and over individually to each student. Another thing is community. Community is amazing and it's really big now here in 2024. It's probably one of the best models. But again, community by itself, I feel like just isn't as effective. Yes, you get to network, but you don't get the information, you don't get the attention. So that's good, but also DM support is the last thing. This is essentially just answering any questions that people may have. I know there's people that are put on retainer and just answer questions whenever any questions come up for the DMs. So if you look at each one of these models by themselves, individually, there's pitfalls in every single one of them. But the way to increase the value of your product so that you can charge more money and you can make sure that your clients get the best results is taking all of these and putting it all in one package to make sure your student hits their goal. That's the entire reason that they even buy from you. They don't buy your courses for your lessons, your time, or how many modules, how many hours there are. They don't buy group coaching so that they can show up on a group coaching call. They don't buy one-on-ones to hang out with you. The whole reason is to get students to their goal. So if this is the outcome that they need, the way to get there isn't as important, but this is the way that you can do it so that you leverage every single pro of each one of these. And if you package them all together, that's where you have a really, really foolproof system. So let me explain. If you have a course where you teach the fundamentals, if you're a music teacher, there's probably things that you say and you repeat over each and every single time to every single client. This is a C major chord. This is how you hold your fingers when you strum the guitar. Those things can be held in a course so that you just teach it once as best as you can, and then every student just watches this and they can re-watch the lessons over and over until it sinks in. Because a lot of times when you explain things on a one-on-one session, it's so much information overload within an hour. When your student goes home, they're like, what was that one thing he said about that thing? And then they can't ask you a question until next week when you meet up with them again. So if you put it in a course, they can revisit, watch it at any time, and make sure the information absolutely sinks in because they can re-watch over and over. Now, if they're going through the same course, they're gonna have the similar questions as one another. So it doesn't matter if you have 1 student, you have 50 students, you have 100 students. You can put them all on one group coaching call once a week to answer any questions that they have. The cool thing about this is it's way more efficient than doing it individually. So let's say student 2 has a question and they raise their hand. And let's say student 13 and student 49 also have a question and they raise their hand. As soon as you answer that question for student 2, student 13 and 49 are like, oh, that was the question I was gonna ask. He already answered that. And so you answer the question for everybody, and then you make sure that you don't have to repeat yourself over and over. So it's just more time efficient, and it helps because they're all in one place. And sometimes some students may ask questions that pertain to other students. But since these other students are trying to solve a different problem, they don't realize they need to ask that question. But because that one student asked the question, it's a light bulb moment for all of them. And then I still like to do one-on-ones, but we treat one-on-ones a little bit differently. One-on-ones aren't meant to sit there and explain simple foundational things. This is a C major chord. That kind of stuff can be taught in a course because it has to be said over and over anyways. So you might as well say it once as best as you can and run everybody through it. The one-on-ones, we reserve them for helping them overcome the biggest hurdles. Usually with music, it's some sort of technique. If it's saxophone, I'm sure it's some sort of breathing. If it's vocals, it's something you do with your diaphragm or your stomach. With guitar, it might be some way that you strum or you hold the notes. There's always those little technical things that you need to adjust and address, otherwise it becomes a problem and a habit forever. And so that's what we reserve the one-on-ones for, is to teach your students how to adjust any problems that they have individually. That way, you're not spending your one-on-ones talking about the stuff that can be held in here. You're just saving this for the biggest problems, and that eliminates so many meetings, and it makes your one-on-ones way more valuable. The next thing is having a community. The great thing about having a community is that everybody in your program can network, but at the same time, it takes a lot of teaching weight off of your shoulders. There's gonna be advanced students and there's gonna be students that just started today. So let's say you worked with a student for 6 months. They've been in your program, they've watched your course, they understand everything that you teach. And let's say somebody comes in today and they have a question that they just don't understand. And these questions come up all the time. Well, instead of you having to jump on and answer everything, a lot of times the advanced students will help the new students by answering the questions for you. And so that takes weight off of your shoulders, but it also allows them to network and use the resources around them versus just going to you for every single answer. The last pinnacle of this triangle is DM or messaging support. There's a lot of questions that are time sensitive, or they're just quick little questions that can be answered over Messenger. Instead of waiting until their next one-on-one with you so you can answer some simple question, instead you can avoid that meeting as a whole, and then you can answer their questions on a timely manner. That way they get the answer right away. Otherwise, they're reserving it and they're like, I'll wait when I see them next time. And by the time next time rolls around, they forget what the question was, and then it hinders their ability to advance. So that's why the DM support is really important. And something that's really cool, this hack now, is there's video recording softwares like Loom, Vimeo has it, Dropbox has it, but you can record your screen and you can answer questions for the clients. So let's say they type you a question that's really long and you need to answer it. What you could do is make a quick video and answer exactly what the question is and how to solve the problem. And then you can send that video to them and they have that video recording forever. That way, even if they forgot what you said, they can just revisit the recording. So this is the ultimate game plan to be able to really buy your time back, and it's a very scalable model, and it's how you can raise your prices. Because if you can get your student to the goal, let's say their ultimate goal is, look, when people buy your one-on-ones, they don't want to buy your time to hang out with you. They buy your time because they believe you're their best bet at getting to this goal themselves. So you might as well focus on getting them to this goal. So if you promise them a goal of, I can help you take you from an intermediate level guitar player to a professional so that you can actually land gigs, and I'll show you how to land your first gig, you can now put in this system to make sure they get to that goal. And that's through information, that's through support, that's through a community. If you have this system in place, this becomes really valuable. So instead of charging $500 for a course, or $500 a month for group coaching, or $100 an hour, or $12 for a community, you can package this all together, sell this, which is the outcome, and say this is the outcome we get you to. And you can package this and sell it for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, all the way up to $10,000 and beyond, right? This is a high ticket package, and that's how you create that much value. Because if they have all this, you can charge a large amount of money, but it's also scalable because you're not spending all your time doing one-on-ones. You're not spending all your time doing groups. You're leveraging each and every one of these pieces, the best of all the worlds. You put them together, and it buys your time back. You can bring on tons of clients. You can make a lot of money, but also you can help a lot of people get to this goal because it's so streamlined. The course has the same information. It's streamlined. You promise them this goal. If they want this goal, then they will be attracted to your marketing. You send them through the system, they get to this goal. Instead of tailor-making everybody's curriculum because everybody's different. That's why it's up to you as the business owner to make the offer. And if the offer is getting them to this goal, everybody who doesn't want that goal, you just say no to. And you just attract the people that want this. You give them this system, and it makes your whole life easier. Hopefully that was helpful. If you want to learn more about how to set up this system for yourself and implement this into your business, I'm going to leave a link down below so that you can book a call, talk to me, and see if I can help you set up this entire thing. But regardless, I hope this was insightful. I hope it was helpful. Please subscribe, share this with a friend, and I will see you in the next video.